Where can ye find a pirate who's lost his wooden legs? Right where ye left 'em.
Stoplight Spoilers is coming to you, bringing you spoilers and movie reviews, with Jake and Isaiah as your hosts as they're driving home.
That's right, you're listening to the Stoplight Spoilers, the podcast where we review movies on the way home. This is Isaiah. This week, we watched Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, and it's also a special episode because I'm out of town, so we phoned it in. This movie failed on Rotten Tomatoes, but let's see what we thought. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram at StoplightSpoilers. We're also on Stitcher and iTunes. Enjoy the show! I don't know how to start this.
I know, right?
Brown chicken, brown cow. Brown chicken.
How no, brown cow. Yeah, no, it definitely feels a little bit more awkward because we're a little bit out of our element.
Yeah.
Recording this week on the phone because you're out of town versus on the ride home, which our intro song so conveniently points out. But anyway, well, I'm Jake.
And I'm Isaiah.
So this week we watched Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. And I found it pretty entertaining.
I did find it entertaining. Probably not to the extent you did. But I have trouble with this entire series of movies.
Okay.
I feel like it suffers from the same thing Transformers does for me. And
okay.
This one was, I don't know which movies I've actually seen, but I know I've seen the first one.
Right.
And I know I've seen this fifth one. So between that, I don't know how many of those I've actually seen. But they just, I just feel like it's not the same story, and it does progress because I did watch the Film Junkies YouTube on it. So there's obviously some sort of progression of story, but it's just we're on the fifth rendition, which is doing well, and reviewers audience-wise are enjoying it better than 2 through 4.
Yes, I would also agree with that assessment personally.
So I did find it entertaining. And I think it helped that I watched the Film Junkies catch up on it, because there's no way I've seen all those movies.
Yeah, I meant to, but I forgot. But I can remember some of it well enough, at least with On Stranger Tides. But for me personally, I actually went away from it enjoying it quite well. And as you know, we got to see it in IMAX 2D, which was actually very entertaining. Catching the movie in the cinema with the biggest screen and the biggest sound, and I was like, oh, this isn't too bad. Not that I'd want to do it every week, but an extra $3 for a really nice seat was pretty cool. A good experience anyway.
On a side note, there's no individual armrests at the theater I went to, so that was a new experience for me. It was every chair, like it was a huge, I don't know exactly where the sections of the chairs were.
Uh-huh.
But I imagine they're like half chairs that they put together.
Right.
Probably for shipping purposes. But everybody has shared armrests, except if you're on the very end, obviously. And both sides go up. So, like, if you wanted to go with two people and snuggle with two other people, you could.
I got you.
And another side note of my theater seating was that they were so tall. If I sat back, like, with my butt against the back of the rest, like the backrest, my feet would not touch the floor.
Wow.
It was very
So
it was very interesting.
I'd probably love it.
Yeah. Back to the movie.
I actually was very impressed with it. And as far as entertainment purposes, I know I had, in a quick nutshell, just recapped it last night for you as far as just what I gave it out of a 10. And I felt that it was a 9 out of 10 for me for the first experience of it. And I could have given it more, but I was so distracted by the Fast and the Furious.
Oh my gosh! I
vault robbery. Like it was the same as Fast 5.
They stole it right out of Fast and Furious. That's what I thought. Exactly in the theater, I was like, "Are you serious right now?"
Yeah. And so that distracted me so hard. It actually took me a while to be okay with the movie, and then it was good because then they were on the ocean, and I couldn't call out the BS because they're on the ocean. And I'm not knowledgeable enough, but when they had like 8 horses
I know that is
robbing
another
the bank.
qualm that I have is there's no way 8 horses
Well,
could pull an entire building
correct.
on
Well,
dry
8
ground.
horses might be able to pull a vault. And that part I was
On
accepting.
yeah, with wheel.
But when the entire bank came off the foundation and hit the ground, if it made it to the ground, if they were that strong, there is no way they had that thing going 10, 15 mile an hour, turning curves and all this crap, running into other buildings while that buildings remained intact and destroyed other structures. So it was so over the top to me. It was stupid. It looked good visually. It was extremely well done visually only.
Yes, it was.
And it's a fun concept as far as imagining, hey, that would be fun to drag a bank down the road with a bunch of horses. But you've effectively got 8 horsepower.
I believe that 8 horses could do it if the house was on wheels.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that if there were any scenes in there where it was an actual house, they had it on wheels.
Yeah.
Because to overcome that amount of friction, that part was just so goofy to me. It was so outlandish that it was so hard for me to get with the rest of the movie after that scene happened. For a little bit, like, I was like, I cannot believe, I was so stuck on that stupid house, or the stupid bank getting drugged through the city.
I did struggle with that. And even like when they turn around corners, the house would have so much momentum
That's what I'm saying.
that it would slide. Also, they were like, I feel like they're doing circles around the city because like Jack came off of the house or came off of it and was like hanging out with the girl running away. And then the house like would conveniently be there to jump on again. Like, what is that?
No, the whole bit was goofy. It didn't work for me. But really, in the whole movie, that was the only thing that really bothered me. Everything else was fun to me. With the way everything's set up, I liked his little ship that he had on the beach. I liked when they launched it. It was goofy, but it was funny to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it worked, and I enjoyed that. Speaking of ships, though, the one that they had. I can't remember the name of the dude's ship, but the bad guy in this one, the antagonist.
Captain Salazar.
Yeah, Captain Salazar. His ship was crazy awesome.
Yeah.
It opens up and just consumed the ship. Visually, every time it happened, I was just excited. I was, okay, well done. Good imagination, whoever came up with that, and great execution. Because I have to give Disney their props. The animation and all of the special effects and stuff in this film are superb.
I will bring up another point because that ship made me think of it. I don't feel like the amount of explosions is accurate either when this ship bites down on another ship.
Right.
I get it, there's like black powder, but in reality, black powder doesn't really explode unless it's like it's compressed or if it's like
Perhaps it was the rum.
the rum. That's definitely the rum.
It was the rum.
But I really did enjoy that ship. I think it was a really cool touch. And the ghosts were really fun too. Like
Ghosts
some of them
were-
were like just a hat.
Yeah. Well, did you notice how they got that form? Did you catch that part in the movie? How
Remind me. 'Cause
each one of them received their form was after the explosion when he initially, Captain Salazar initially went into the triangle.
yeah, another explosion.
Right. Which was an explosion, but it looked like it was an explosion due to a very unexplained. They did not explain that power that was in there, which
Yeah.
I wish they would have explained it. And I understand one could argue that, well, it's unexplainable. That's why they didn't explain it. Like, you know what I mean? It's uncharted.
also were-
therefore, it's unexplained. But visually, it looked cool. There was that lava red whatever effect going on that made the ship explode and
Yeah.
and made their body parts explode and stuff. But when they tied in that explosion to their look throughout the whole
No, that
film,
was good.
oh yeah, it was a big hand clap for me. I was like, well done, whoever. And Matt, last night we talked about it just for a moment on the ride home, and he also mentioned that scene and about how well done it was that they gave us something this is why they look like they do. It was a simple explosion. It was goofy. It was a goofy explosion. But just the fact that that's how their bodies became formed the way they were. I thought the whole bit was awesome. And I had no idea what the comp is. I really enjoyed seeing Jack Sparrow's origin story, essentially.
The young Jack Sparrow, I did note that. Like, I really enjoyed him. He was a fun character.
It was super fun. It was a really well done story. And then his captain said, don't abandon the compass.
Yeah.
You know? And I remember thinking, oh, that was well done to give this compass a little bit more of a backstory. To give Jack, like, his name. Me and Matt was talking about that too. But how he came to get his name, Jack the Sparrow.
Yeah.
Because he was up in the crow's nest. I was like, dude, that is hilarious. His name, it's stupid when they give it. But that's how a lot of names actually start out. They're really dumb. You know, like my favorite gamer tag is Zeralis. Well, what was that? Oh, it means absolutely nothing. It was just a random name generator that I like the name. And now it's on everything I have. So I don't have a cool story, but neither does Jack Sparrow. He was like, they were like, he looked like a bird up there. He was basically making fun of him in a way. And I'm like, okay, that's funny. And his squeaky little boy voice was kind of funny too.
I really enjoyed the whole backstory behind that. I think that was a fun touch.
Me too.
The explosion part. So these guys get exploded and turned into ghosts, and that's how they get their form. It's really interesting how they regained human bodies again.
Like at
when
the
the
end?
Poseidons tried it. I just thought they were all going to drop dead. All the ones that were dead were just going to drop dead.
Yeah, I suspected it do the same thing, but I'm guessing that they didn't technically die initially, that it was just a curse.
Okay.
Somehow the curse came upon them. That's what I want to go with because it's the only thing that can make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was doing a little bit of a research that apparently there's another issue with that trident because the guy that's underwater, Henry's father.
Okay,
Bill
Turner.
Was it his heart that was apparently in the chest? Somebody's heart.
Correct. Bill Turner, he died, and he took over the Dutchman from Davy Jones.
Okay.
And Davy Jones is played by Bill Nye. And obviously, I assume you got to the end credits.
Yes. What can you explain? Like that would be helpful to me too, because I don't like that meant nothing to me. I had no idea.
That was absolutely Davy Jones, which was played by Bill Nye, and one of my favorite of this whole franchise, one of my favorite bad guys. He did the whole part. That was, I think, number 2.
Okay.
I feel like it was, because I think number 1 was mostly a focus on Barbossa and stuff, and so number 2 with Davy Jones. It was the point where Will Turner finds his father, Bootstrap Bill, and he's part of the Dutchman's fleet. He's one of the Dutchman's hands. And throughout the whole process, as you were talking about with the heart and stuff, they defeat the Dutchman. Obviously, I can't say kill because he's back, but they defeat the Dutchman, and Will Turner, which is Orlando Bloom, has to take his place.
Yeah.
So I believe, if I remember correctly, how it played out is that Johnny Depp was going to taste the Dutchman. That was his goal. He wanted it. But in order to save Will, he had a very brief moment of kindness to where it wound up going for Will. So he wouldn't die. And so he wound up taking on the Dutchman, him and Elizabeth Swann, et cetera, et cetera. Well, that's what they were leading into with this one with the boy. By the way, let me jump onto that. When he was the young boy and he went and found his dad, got on his dad's ship.
Yeah.
Holy crap, awesome opening scene.
Right. It looked like a suicide attempt.
He looked like suicide, and then all of a sudden he's on the ship, and then the ship pops up out of... I was like, okay, that's just wicked awesome. I was very pleased by that. And then shortly thereafter was the bank robbery scene, which I'm going to touch on again, because how bad it was.
Okay.
Come on. Like, that part, if that was just out of the movie, we generally have movies to where we have a flaw. This one's so major. If that one was just gone, all the other stuff would be so much better, I think. But anyway, that's the way that was tied in. And again, as far as all of the complete detail and nerd side of it, I don't know. But at the end, that was definitely Davy Jones.
Okay, but
And
what I was getting at was Henry's father. That was his heart that went into the chest, correct?
correct.
So when
yeah,
the curse
that
is broken, Henry
Bill
should
Turner.
just die, right? Or not Henry, but Henry's
Well,
father, Will Turner.
Yeah, one could argue, and that's the same thing Nick, Matt, and I were talking about last night. And you could argue that, absolutely. But I can kind of see a loophole. And it was really hard to make Nick understand what I was trying to get at for the loophole. Is let's say that Davy Jones, his existence was not a curse. All right?
Okay.
But let's say everything after that is somehow tied into a curse at sea. Obviously, breaking the trident. I feel that they didn't think out enough of this breaking the trident. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just only trying to make sense of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that there's too many holes to just say all the curses at sea are now gone.
Yeah.
So what I think is because everything led up to that moment was actuality, and then when the curses started changing, or the curses began, essentially, it just undid everything. So there's probably going to be some major holes, but my thinking was, since Orlando Bloom's character never did have the curse, that maybe because of, I can't remember exactly how he died, but I think he got stabbed. Let's just say that was also part of the curse. I don't know. I'm just saying it's the only thing you can make sense of it.
Okay.
You know? So I'd have to rewatch the first ones to really see if I could tie it in. But it's going to be really hard for them to explain and it makes sense.
I agree with that statement for sure.
Because
a lot of things don't make sense because it's Pirates of the Caribbean. But
right. But there's big holes in that sense. And I hope that they do a good job because I enjoyed Davy Jones. I thought he was a very cool character. Speaking of awesome characters, Captain Salazar was amazing.
No, he did a really good job.
Amazing. One of the best villains. And I loved him in Spectre when he's in that with 007, James Bond.
Yeah,
Craig.
I don't know if I've seen that.
So good. Oh my God, I love him so much. And it's I keep saying Spectre, but I actually think he was in Skyfall. Superb film. Love it. And he did a great villain. And when he was in this one, it equally is good. And their animation on him, his hair, his little particles that were like whatever you want to call them. He just looked awesome visually.
I agree. It was a cool character. I just had a few random things in my notes that I wanted to touch on. The girl, her name is Karina. Just kidding. I enjoyed her character, but what I was going to say is when they're like escaping, they're both getting hung. Or he's under the guillotine. Jack Sparrow's about to get his head chopped off. And then,
speaking of which, real quick, that was fantastic.
That's what I was trying to segue into that. That scene to me was so fun when it's spinning.
It was hilarious, and then the blade was so close every time I went, thinking, "Oh my God, I know they're not going to kill him, but this is too awesome."
I thought that was a really fun. They did a good job at that. It was very entertaining.
It was very.
I did have a problem with the fact that, like, when Henry was holding, it's Karina, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When he's holding, no, not when he's holding her. Who's fighting? Is it Henry fighting up top of the pirate or the guard? Somebody's fighting.
It was a rando guy.
Okay, so the random guy was dancing around the switch so he wouldn't hit it on accident, right? Why didn't he just cut her rope?
The rope. Why didn't he take? No, I thought about the same thing, but here's how I'm going to justify it. He is a pirate. He doesn't have that much sense.
Okay, all right.
Because I thought about the same thing.
He's like, but he has enough sense to not hit the switch. Like he's dancing.
He does. Yeah, no, but it works. I get your point, and that's what I would do. I'd be like, just take the rope off of her, or use that awesome sword you have in your hand and just cut it. I agree, but it's just goofiness. The guillotine was awesome, though. I just loved to spin it around, and he was like getting so sick, and the camera fixed on him versus seeing it happen was really good.
Oh yeah, it definitely added to that. Also, some of the guards were terrible. They when they're taking Jack Sparrow to go get his head cut off, like his uncle, I guess, is in a few cells down, and
Right.
the guards just let him stop and have a little
Yeah.
dialogue like this.
Yeah, I thought that was super goofy too. They were like, "Oh, okay, well, you can just walk up and talk to your uncle for a minute."
Yeah, it was silly.
It was very silly.
I really enjoyed the Beatrice wedding scene as well. I thought that was so funny. How sick Jack Sparrow was.
God.
Like, he kept saying it instead of she. I laughed out loud several times during that scene.
Oh, it was so gross. And then when you got Barbosa up there and he's all like, well, what do I get out of it? And he just shoots the dude, the Scottish guy, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
He was like,
That'll work.
he goes, that works. It's funny. What you were touching on, I kind of want to save that one part, like the Karina part toward the end for what happened at the end, kind of put those together. But yeah, I enjoyed how smart she was, and I enjoyed how she really was into, following the stars and astrology and stuff. And I like when she went to that one place, that dude's like observatory. He looked like a private observatory. And he goes, "What are you doing? There's no women can use,
Yeah.
Back then they treated women like they weren't smart.
I do find it. I was reading some reviews online of this. It was a female reviewer, and she mentioned that the sexism in the film, like that, she had a qualm with. I was like, we're talking like, how many hundreds of years ago was this?
Yeah, I think it fit. Period, though.
Yeah,
because people didn't go to university. They didn't do things like that as women.
Yeah, it was a funny review to me because I was like, we're talking about pirate age here. Come on.
Yeah. No, if they got upset, that I definitely don't feel that they were pushing an agenda. If they were pushing an agenda in a positive manner for women and showing, hey, don't treat her like this because she actually adjusted your telescope, made it to where you're going to have to redo your map because now it's accurate. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They played her up to be far superior to him as far as her knowledge on astronomy, right? So that whoever's going to argue that was against women, I think is wrong. They're actually trying to say, hey, women were smart back then too. You know what I mean? That's just people want to get on a soapbox. But anyway.
I agree. I do have one last qualm before are we going to talk about the end of the movie? Is that what's
No, go ahead.
Okay. My other last qualm is the ghost. There's a scene where they run on the water, which is fabulous. Right. However, they're super fast, right? But like the prior scenes, they're chasing after a boat in their boat, like just not able to gain a lot of ground because they're in the ocean, obviously. But why didn't they just run up and get Jack Sparrow if that's the end goal? Like, it didn't fit.
Also, too, since you point that out, and they can stand on water, they don't have to. They don't even have to move. They can just stand on water. When they were on the beach, I did enjoy the one dude dying. I thought that was a fantastic touch.
That was super cool.
However, every time the tide comes in and out, the real actor's feet are below the water line. Below. And one scene, Captain Salazar, I don't think he was on water in any way whatsoever, but he was still alive. Like, there was no water beneath his feet, and he should have been dead. So if we're pointing out little things like that. So when they were standing in the tide,
Trident?
Oh, no. This is on the beach where the one dude died when he almost got Captain Jack Sparrow. This is at that moment. And his feet were not actually in the water in one of the shots. And I was like, that's funny. But then the thing that was funny about it, though, overall, was that the actors' feet, when the water was going around their feet, they weren't on top of the water anymore.
Okay.
Like they had been running.
Yeah.
And I like the shark wrangling. It was absolutely far-fetched.
The shark ghost to me was super fun. Like, that was a fun touch.
But I think that they work so much better than the bank robbery scene.
Yeah.
Why is it that I'm okay with a shark ghost getting wrangled with a big hook and then a little dinghy and pulling him like a freaking motorboat?
We can't fathom that, though, because that is not in our realm of things that are the ghost sharks aren't a thing that we've had experience with. We know what 8 horsepower does.
Right, it's fantasy. But
that's Honda Grom. That is Honda Grom.
They pulled this building down with a Honda Grom. I like it.
Not gonna work.
It's funny. I like to kind of point out a little tiny little thing was the staged mutiny where they could get rid of Jack, and then Gibbs was all like, Gibbs has learned from the past because of what Captain Jack would do to Gibbs. That's his mate, right?
Yeah.
And so he's learned now, oh, I don't want to be the captain. He goes, hey, Jack said would want in his absence for you to be captain. And he's like, oh, I'm the captain. This is like the... And then he just gets punched. Transition. Punched right in the face. I laughed really hard at that because Gibbs has learned. Because used to, that was Gibbs' position. He would be the one that take the crap. And so now, like, I like that he's wise enough a little bit. That was a fun little tiny character development for me that I enjoyed. As far as them finding the island was beautiful. I loved all the sparkle. And I loved how it turned out to be the reflection of the stars.
That was a fun idea.
I like the journal. I love the red gem on the top. Because when she got there and she's like, one's not lit, I was like, use your piece of the jewel.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. Put it on there. And then all of a sudden, Barbosa, which has no tie into this whatsoever, obviously, here's your gem. Put this on there and it'll complete it. Like, for her to be so smart, she should have been raising some red flags a long time ago about what's going on.
Right.
But let's just go ahead and drop that bombshell. I really enjoyed it. I thought when I had an idea, I was like, man, that's gonna be crazy if that's his daughter.
Right.
And then it was, and then I was okay with it. Like I didn't feel it was cheesy. You know what I mean?
No, I think they did a really good job with it because they didn't just. I mean, there wasn't like a moment where they were able to like kindle this relationship.
They weren't like Ego in
they weren't
the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Around.
They weren't freaking throwing a ball around. Like, come on. So insert, oh daddy.
I really
liked it on the ship. It's okay. I really liked it on the ship where he was like, where did you steal that from? The book. And just how that progressed, and he knew right away, and his the way he acted genuinely made me feel that holy mess that just dropped on him heavy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then for Jack Sparrow to pick it up, obviously, that was fun. But how it played up to where he was excited to see his daughter, but then couldn't say anything about it. And then how he went out, like, I know I'm jumping the gun, but how they were on the island and then how the water split for the trident and then how he actually ultimately sacrificed himself for his daughter. I enjoyed it. It was pretty. It was saddening. I didn't want it to happen.
No, I totally agree with that, but it worked well. Like
it was well done.
Yeah. That whole scene was so fun to me though. Like the ship just right on the edge of the water.
On the edge of the water was so stinking good.
I forget who was steering it, but whoever's like steering, I think it was
It was Gibbs.
Gibbs, yeah. He was just fighting it. Just it looked like it looked good. Trying to fight the ship going into the crack. Like
yeah, it looked good. I enjoyed it, and I really liked once Salazar got the trident. I enjoyed him beating up Johnny Depp a little bit and him going in and out of both walls of water. And I liked when the other pirate ghost grabbed him real quick.
Yeah.
And then they drug him out and then they just poofed. I was like, okay, that was funny too. But I mean, it was just all that was kind of fun to me.
I think that it was hard for me to totally hate on Salazar because his original character was like trying to make the sea not full of pirates. So essentially, I was rooting for the bad guys, which is funny. This is the same thing you do in a lot of movies.
It is,
like Fast and Furious.
It's just because vengeance consumed him. There was no stopping for him.
That's true.
It became a thing about vengeance and hatred, and he even said something about that once. When he turned and the curse came upon him, that's what he talked about. He talked about that. You know what I mean?
I like that how Jack Sparrow lured him into that. That was a fun scene where they threw the ropes and did like the quick U-turn.
Oh yeah, heck yeah!
That was a
where he
fun
did the what do they call that maneuver?
The Batmobile maneuver. Just kidding.
I don't know, but it was cool. I did enjoy it. And I liked how immediately afterwards they gave him tribute because they're alive. And
Yeah,
his
that was
jewelry,
really good.
his gun, his hat,
That was
all
really
that
good.
stuff, how it came to him. Like the backstory that they gave on a lot of items, like again the compass, the backstory they gave that. And then I like the one witch that was in it, the bald witch. Like she was cool, and how the British Army Navy was using her to basically advance themselves. I thought that was kind of nice because the British Navy was good in history, like our actual history.
Yeah.
They were super strong. The fact that they played into part fact, which is, being super strong, and then, part myth, whatever you want to call it, fantasy, that it was in part done by a witch. Like, I thought that was a neat touch, too, just kind of playing history for fantasy.
Do you have anything else to talk about in the movie?
No, it was really just that. I enjoyed the Triton. I thought that was really awesome how it looked instead of it looking like just a pitchfork.
Yeah, it was something special. Like it was
special. It looked neat.
Yeah.
It was fun. And I liked how it was. I was like, just break the Trident, guys. Come on. And so they finally got it together in the film. It was like, just break it. And then when they did, I liked the effect that went out. And I like how things played out. And then the people were happy because they were all human again. And I like how they started to drown.
Yeah.
Because they were like, wait a minute, let's get out of the water now. Like, duh. But we're talking about kids. Since I want to... Because there was two different ones, right? There was Orlando Bloom's kid, so Turner kid.
Yeah.
And then there was Karina. So both of those were fun. And I really liked how he let his dad know that, hey, I'm your son. Like, it wasn't gushy. It wasn't stupid. It was, here's the necklace you gave to me.
Yeah.
So you know who I am.
Yeah.
Like, it was good. It was a good touching moment without it being stupid. It was fun.
After talking about it, I think I've raised my likeness of the film a little bit.
That's good.
But
I
typically I do.
it helps.
I enjoy it.
It helps, though, going with people.
Oh, yeah.
And I
will
definitely
say,
don't want
I
to see
did
you
think the
become this
runtime.
huge critic.
The runtime of this movie, I felt like it drug on a little bit for me. Like,
Yeah.
but that's partially because I'm just not into the Pirates franchise. So I took one for the team here and watched Pirates.
But
it
I
wasn't that
have
bad. I'll give it like a 7 probably, though. A 7's probably where I'm at.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad. It's not terrible. Rotten Tomatoes.
I gave it a 9 because of the original, like the other movies. This
Yeah.
one is so much better than the old one.
And that's what I hear.
Some
Like,
of the other ones.
I saw people rating them 1, 5, 2, 3, 4. Like, that was the rating system a lot. I saw it several times.
They rated the first one as a 1?
They did. Just probably because I don't know.
That's weird. No, I think the first one was great. It was a good start for
No. In that order from from best to worst. 1, 5, 2, 3, 4.
Got you. Yeah, that's about how I would go too, actually. Because I like number 2. It was super fun to me. I enjoyed Davy Jones a lot. But this one did one up it to me.
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes is sitting at a 31%. I don't think it's there, but I just think it's the type of movie, and I don't think they do well with franchises. But the budget of the movie was $230 million.
$230 million was the budget.
Yes.
I think they did pretty good then. Like, I don't feel that there was really any spots that it looked bad, that anything was poorly done. Because even as ludicrous as the bank robbery scene was, it looked fantastic.
No, it did.
The vault dropping all the gold, like it crashing into stuff, everything looked great. It just was stupid.
All right, so I think that pretty much wraps it up. Opening weekend, it did 62.2 domestically, 62.2 million that is, and then 208 internationally.
That's pretty decent.
So
they've almost made up the budget of the film.
No, they already did. Total, they have. They're in the black, so they're making money. Did you catch any trailers? Did you watch any trailers?
At the thing and saw the trailer for Thor.
Oh, let's see. We have different trailers. How's that? I didn't get the Thor trailer.
Hey, it was Thor Ragnarok. Oh my God, looked so awesome. I'm so pumped, dude.
Okay, I didn't get that trailer. I'm a little sad.
All right, so what other trailer are you talking about?
Well, I'm just gonna go. I'll start from the top. The first trailer I got was Dunkirk.
Okay.
It's a war movie. I thought it looked fabulous. Did you know which one that is?
Yeah, it does look pretty good.
It
looks intense.
That one, it needs to be on our list to watch. Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh, of course.
I need to talk to my Marvel nerd friends, but like, did Spider-Man at one point, did he actually team up with Iron Man to make a special suit? Because that was kind of nifty. Did you get that trailer with his
yeah, I got the trailer. Yeah, absolutely.
His suit has Iron Man characteristics?
No, it was... No. How do you not know this? This was in the movie where...
I haven't seen any of the new ones. Is that one?
You've seen the movie.
Which one?
It's the one where Tony Stark goes to him because it's when they were having the Civil War, the break, right?
That movie? He had special suit in that one?
Yeah, because Tony had been tracking Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Well, he went and seen him and Aunt May and visited with them, and he's like, hey, I know about what's up, and, he's like, Tony Stark's in my bedroom, kind of thing. Well, they were just hanging out, and he's like, well, you're going to need a better suit, and that's when it developed.
Okay. Gotcha.
And so he did eventually get the suit, and that was the
I'm going to have to watch
War.
that one again.
Oh, yeah, it's very good.
I also need to watch all the Spider-Mans, because I'm not.
No, like you could watch the Amazing Spider-Mans.
That's what
they're
I mean.
not the same. They're not
Correct.
the same universe.
Wait, the Amazing. This is a different one now.
This is the universe that's in the Marvel.
The Civil War
universe.
Okay.
Yeah, Civil War is proper with this Homecoming Spider-Man.
Is this the first one of this universe then?
Yes.
Okay,
this
so
is the
I'm
first,
caught up. Perfect. I don't need to watch
This
anything.
is the first Spider-Man that's coming out with this new actor.
Okay.
In this
Perfect.
exact universe.
All right.
And it's partly because of Sony having the franchise of Spider-Man.
I gotcha.
And since Sony is now playing with the other studios and actually allowing this to work, which is, thank you so much, Sony, again, because it's a big hole if you didn't. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be super fun. Next week I am so stoked for Wonder Woman, of course, and I'm just beside myself with excitement for this movie.
I think it'll be good.
I'm really bummed that I don't get to see it with you.
Maybe I'll live feed you or something. Just kidding. I'll do a call you on video chat. I also got Transformers, and I actually got a little bit more excited because it looked like there was more story, like just more character.
I think it'll be fun.
It looked good.
It's absolutely on my list.
You get Star Wars, the teaser?
Oh yeah, the
Okay.
Star Wars teaser.
So that
I didn't watch it though. I intentionally didn't watch it though. You know me.
It was a teaser. It was nothing.
I still intentionally didn't watch it. So side note, I have two little side notes that really are not relevant in any way whatsoever. Did you know you could get closed captions devices and use them during the movie?
I saw that yesterday, and I didn't know what it was until just now
we
you said
both
it.
saw the same thing yesterday.
I was like, what does this person have in front of them? And now that you say it, it had to have been what it was.
I thought they were recording the movie and it was a bootleg
At
first.
I didn't think.
And then all of a sudden I could see it. I was like, oh, it's
Would
closed
you
captions.
would
That's
you
cool.
do that?
What's that?
Would you?
Bootleg the movie?
No. Would you get the closed caption device? Because you watch
sometimes I wish I had them, but it's rare. Like I don't want to be distracted from the gigantic screen. You know what I mean?
I did see two people yesterday, but let me tell you, when you go to a 10 o'clock showing on a Tuesday, you are watching movies with a bunch of old people.
Oh yeah,
that's all that was in there. It was me, and then like the average age after me was probably 70 to 75. It was really fun. I have two more trailers that I want to bring up, and then we can move on because it's time to go. But so I'm going to start. This is not in order because I want to save the one for last. But Cars 3, have you seen the trailer for that?
I didn't see the trailer, but I saw the what's the display for it at the movie theater, and I got a little excited.
So when you do see the trailer, it's rated G, but the movie's so intense, like, and these cars have characters, so like they look like they're just dying because there's so many car crashes. So I thought that was funny. I just wanted to note on that. But I think we have an award-winning movie that's about to be out, and it's.
Okay.
Have you seen the trailer for Wonder?
Okay.
with Julia Roberts and Owen Wilson.
I think Wonder is a tentative movie on my schedule.
I
I think I'd put it on.
I definitely want to see it. Have you seen the trailer?
No, I just think that I think it was just one that I had looked up just a very basic information on it when I was building the calendar.
No,
I was like, oh, that one sounds good.
I
So,
think it could be an award-winning movie. Just based
Okay.
on the trailer, it's Julia Roberts and Owen Wilson, and then the little boy from Room.
yeah, you're just gonna have to. I'm just gonna have to listen to the podcast. This is not.
Dang it! Ah, oh well.
Anyway, next.
That's all I got.
Oh, okay. And also, I did another funny little thing about the movie theater last night. So we go in, Alien Covenant's on one side, and Wonder Woman's on the other side, right?
Okay.
So then we go in, we watch the movie, come out, and I'm like, something's wrong with this picture. I was like, did you guys change the thing while we were in there? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, dude, you're throwing me off. I was like, what the heck happened here? They changed the display when we were inside the movie.
Nice.
It's kind of funny. But anyway, that's it. So next week we're going to be watching Wonder Woman. I'm sad that you're not going to be here, but it'll still be fun. I definitely give this movie a green light, though. Absolutely go and watch it if you have any desire to be entertained. Understand that there is some silly stuff in it, so if you're entertained by Fast and the Furious, you'll definitely be entertained by this.
That'll work. That's a good disclaimer.
And so I loved it. I think it was definitely far better than the majority of the other Pirates movies.
All right, guys, that is the end of our podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/StoplightSpoilers and Instagram at StoplightSpoilers. See ya.
See you guys next week. Hashtag sponsor us. And that was a cough. That'll be at the end. Anyway. Excuse me.
Anyway. Yeah. The one.
And just.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh. Okay. Golly, what was I gonna say? Okay.
Excuse me. But anyway.
Her astronomy. Sorry, my brain is like 10,000 places but not in order.
But yeah. And
one of the
here's like yeah, and I can't hear you.
Dunkirk. All right.
Now I can't hear you at all.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit better.
I don't know how to do it. All right. Well, I'm gonna go hang out with my wife since it's our anniversary.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's exciting, dude. What is it? 10 or 11?
10.
10 years today, babe. Isn't that crazy? Well, happy anniversary, Isaiah.
Thanks.
I love you guys. You guys have fun.
All right. See ya.